JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 20th of December 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, view the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which is also updated on a daily basis. So yep, check us out on jfdbank.com and yep, click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. So look at this decline, and yep, we came again closer to this lower side of the triangle that I've drawn here a while ago. So if you remember, I talked about this one, and what I was saying as well previously that if it stays somewhere above this 200-day EMA or this 28,309 territory, then well, we could still see some maybe recovery inside this triangle pattern. But as you can see, we dropped below that 200-day EMA, and of course, yep, that opened the door towards lower levels. Now, of course, at this point, we once again need to be very careful in order, let's say, not to see the same kind of scenario happening here, like, for example, here in the like a rebound from this. I hope you can hear me guys well, because again it seems to be I'm struggling with some of the some of the kind of streaming, I think error. I think there's struggling with the internet in my side here, but yeah, hopefully you can kind of see me and hear me okay. Now, coming back to this, like I said, this the situation here with Nikkei, I mean, like I said, let's keep an eye on it, and let's see if we're not going to get the same story as we had here back in the beginning of December, where we kind of bounced around a little bit here near this upside line, the lower side of the triangle, and then we kind of pushed higher again. So keep that in mind. In terms of Shanghai Composite here now, again, this one is also not really feeling very well. As you can see, it broke this upside line, taken from the low of the 10th of November, and yep, for now. For now, everything's looking a little bit on the bearish side, to be honest, for this one. Okay, I'm not saying that this I'm gonna get very bearish on this one or something like that. No, because in a way we could, yes, we could drift a little bit lower, for example, maybe towards that 3,572 territory. But if we do find some sort of support here near this 100-day EMA, then another rebound here could be possible, and yep, we could maybe even ignore this whole fact of breaking this upside line. So again, there's a lot of ifs on the way lower. Of course, such a move here is opening the door now towards a possible further move south. However, again, keep your eyes on some of these levels. And yep, the 3,572 territory is the first one that I'm going to be keeping an eye on, together with the 100-day EMA. and then we'll take it from there. Yep, I can see in the chat room here, Evu. Yep, good morning to you too. Good morning to everybody else who's joining in as well. Now, jumping into DAX, so the German index here. A bit of a roller coaster ride last week, and yeah, I mean it's not as ideal ideal for the bulls, I would say, as they probably would have wanted it to be. But of course, looking at this picture right now on the cash index, we're seeing that we are getting a bit of a decline, and yep, we're seeing a bit of a drift lower. Currently, the index is trading at around 15,168 zone, so that means that we are below this upside line, guys. So we're below this upside line, and I think as well, and we are below this upside line as well. So first of all, we'll get rid of this tentative line, no longer needed, and we are below this area as well, this upside line. So basically we have a bit of a, well, we'll have a nice little gap here to the downside. So that's going to be quite interesting to see where this is going to go further, because at the moment, well, if we do eventually open below this upside line and below the 200-day EMA, well, I mean, that's going to be quite interesting for the sellers, and especially if let's say we didn't get a retracement, but it doesn't, let's say, go back above this upside line, back above this 200-day EMA shown as the black line, then, well, I mean, yeah, another slide here could be possible, so keep that in mind, guys. So yeah, everything's looking a little bit scary here. However, let's not kind of put those fear caps yet. Let's wait for that confirmation, and yep, then we'll go from there. For now, yeah. Although it is looking a little bit, like I said, scary, but again, let's not rush into anything yet. Now, jumping into the S&P 500. Jumping into the S&P 500 here, you can see that, yes, on Friday, this is where we've ended. We dropped below that 4,630 territory right here. Of course, this I've mentioned this one a while ago, and yeah, I said that if we drop and stay below it, then further declines are possible. And if we take a look at the cash index right now, well, we'll see that the price is currently sitting at around 4,559 level. So that means it's somewhere around here, guys. So yep, there we go. Okay, so we're also, of course, depending on how today's European session is going to go through, but we may see a nice gap here to the downside, and then of course we'll take it from there. Of course, certainly if it starts falling somewhere below this 4,495 territory, now that's where probably bigger problems could show up for this index. Now jumping into Dxy, the dollar index, and yeah, so here we have a nice rebound from this 21-day EMA. The index continues to kind of move sideways, I would say, sideways, but still above that 21-day EMA. So, in other words, if you remember last week, I talked about these two levels here that could play out as the borders of this little range here, where the index is currently stuck in. So, 95.52 territory on the downside. That's what I'm looking for in order to maybe, let's say, go for lower levels. But even then, I mean, I've talked about this little hurdle, this 95.85. A nice good drop below this may may open door towards in that lower side of the potential range here, and then we would take it from there, of course. So let's not rush into anything. So for the upside, we're clearing this 96.64 level right here. At the moment, we're kind of oscillating around that little level, but of course, all eyes are on this 96.94 territory right here. Just because, like I said, if it is the upper side of the range, then yeah, a nice good pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially more buyers could join in. So keep that in mind. Gold. Now gold is messy. So we are as you can see on Friday, pushed nicely to the upside. We've climbed nicely higher. Yeah, we quickly then kind of sold off and drifted back towards that psychological 1800 level. Now this morning we're trying again to stay above this area, stay above that 1800 zone. Let's see if we can succeed, because at the moment I would say it's a little bit tricky here. It's a little bit on the I can't even describe this. I mean, at the moment it's not ideal. Yes, the fact that it's still managing to somehow balance up fractionally above that 1800 level, that's good news. Of course, that's great. And the fact that it's also sitting above all of the EMAs, that's also positive. It's also sitting above this upside line, so that's a third positive as well. So in a way, everything seems to be kind of working nicely in favor of the bulls here, and it could still do that. The only thing is that the let's see if it manages to stay here today. So I would say if you are looking maybe to try and risk this one, I mean, have a tight stop loss, because in case this suddenly drops, let's say below, let me just grab this line, below Friday's low near the 1795, 96 territory right here. If it drops, if it drops below that 1796 zone, maybe we could see a bit of a larger correction here to the downside. So keep that in mind, guys. So I would say, like I said, there is a very decent chance for this one to move higher. However, if you are risking this due to slight uncertainty here, I would say a very tight stop loss would be needed. And of course, you need to always risk what you can afford to lose. Now jumping into WTI oil, oil is drifting nicely to the downside and fell below that 69.47 level that I talked about previously. So we might see a little maybe retracement here back up. However, if it stays below this hurdle, below this 200-day EMA, then yep, for me this could look a little bit more bearish than bullish. Bitcoin Cash. For now, I'm not saying that this is very bearish, but for me, probably to start looking at lower levels, I would need to see a drop below this 414 level right here. And then this would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and potentially more sellers could join in. So keep that in mind. For the upside, might be a very conservative approach here, but yeah, a break of this downside line would be needed just to be kind of on the safe side. So to be honest, nothing major here on this pair. Now AUD/NZD, one of my favorite ones. Continues to so far to respect the upper side of the rising channel. Although we keep getting these overshoots, but we don't really get that body of the daily candle staying above that area. So that means that, yes, so far it is respecting the upper side of the rising channel. Can it continue doing that? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. At the moment, we're seeing a slight little correction lower. And in a way, if if equities continue to slide, then well, we could see Australian dollar also falling a little bit lower, guys. At the moment, I would consider maybe a larger correction here, maybe back towards that 200-day EMA, something like that. And then I would take it from there. Maybe if we do hold up here somewhere, maybe we could see a nice rebound and a pushback to the upside. So just for now, be very careful. Like I said, let's see how all this is going to play out. If it starts falling below this, below that 200-day EMA, then yep, maybe a larger move to the downside here. Maybe if this is a rising channel pattern, then maybe we could see a test of the lower side of the rising channel. But again, let's not rush into anything. Let's slowly go on this one. USD CAD, very quickly on that one. So of course, for obvious reasons, I mean, USD CAD is popping higher. I mean, oil is declining, so the Canadian dollar is getting weaker, and DXY managed to push a little bit north. So everything is looking quite positive for this pair. And to be honest, we're approaching also this highest point of August as well, which is roughly around that 1.2949 level. A nice good break above that area, of course, would confirm a forthcoming higher high. And yep, we could start aiming for some maybe higher levels. Now, the next potential target here, I wouldn't say would be this one. I would say actually it would be somewhere around here, maybe 1.3172. But of course, everybody's going to be watching that psychological 130 zone. So yeah, I mean that's going to be very interesting for everyone. In a way, I would say that it's quite possible that if oil continues to decline, then yes, it's quite possible for this pair to move further north and maybe reach that psychological 130 zone. So keep that in mind. Now, madness continues. I spoke about this, guys. I mean, I mentioned this to you, and well, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is just insane. I mean, I'm not talking about the Euro TRY pair. That one's getting already closer to the 20s. But to be honest, if this continues like this, then even the USD TRY might get closer to the 20s. So that's, for now, everything's possible. I mean, I feel sorry for the people who have to, who have to suffer this. But yeah, I hope, I hope they're managing this okay. Nevertheless, I mean, from the technical side, looking at this picture, I just, like I said, it's very difficult to draw in a Fibonacci extension. That doesn't really work. It seems not doesn't really seem to work in this scenario. So it just is just one-way traffic at the moment, and we just need to continue. If you are following this this currency, the Turkish lira, then yeah, you just need to continue monitoring the situation, the political situation in the country. GBP. Oh, and by the way, with the USD TRY, I do understand it's very tempting, but just be careful, guys. If you are shorting this somehow, definitely have your stop loss in place, because as you can see here, you might have been caught out already here if you were shorting here. So yeah, be very careful. GBP CHF, very quickly on this. Okay, so previously I talked about this falling channel pattern. Probably it's time to get rid of it, and I will recycle this line and I will reuse it right here, just to want to show that we are trading above this upside support line taken from the low of the 6th of December. So this is a bit of a tentative line, but let's see if it holds. If it does hold, then it will be interesting to see if we can get that rebound. But of course, the more excitement for the bulls could come in on a push above this barrier right here, this 1.2279, which recently kind of did its job and acted as a good area of resistance, and it also coincides nicely with the 21-day EMA. So in a way, everything's A lot of things could work out here for the bulls, at least in the near term, if we do get that pop above this hurdle. But at the moment, all eyes are on this upside line. If this holds, then yes, we could see a nice little reversal. If it doesn't, well, we could start aiming for that current highest point, current lowest point of December near the 1.2121 level. Euro CAD, so, excuse me. Now, finally, getting once again closer to that 1.4554 level. I spoke about that, and let's see if we can get that pop. If we can, a lot of excitement here could be among buyers. The only thing I would probably suggest to be careful and cautious, because I don't want this to be honest, personally, I don't want this to end up maybe being something of a very long and wide ascending triangle. So, for example, right now, if it, it could push, it could pop higher, but then it could fail by the end of the day and just kind of drift back down, and then let's say we could see a bit of a drift back to the downside here, and maybe a test of this upside line. However, this idea might not work out, just because, like I said, if oil continues to slide, then, well, we could see this pair moving nicely to the upside as well. So a lot will depend on oil, so keep that on your charts as well if you're trading this pair. And then we'll just go from there. So at the moment, it is building up. It is building up nicely here for a possible pop, but will it do that eventually? It could do that. However, like I said, just work with me here. What could happen here is, I mean, we do see these scenarios happening a lot sometimes. So we could see that pop, even a strong pop. We could move higher, but let's say if oil by the end of the day somehow stabilizes during the US session, for example, buyers pick it up and drive it higher, then yes, we could see a nice falls breakout here, and then basically it could drift back down. So that's why, although it's looking quite tempting, but consider that if you are trading this pair, consider this, be careful, and just like I said, always have your stop loss in place. And finally, EURUSD. Here, we drifted back down. Once again, we're near this 1.1235 territory. You can see that it's getting a hold up here, so everything's looking quite interesting for the sellers potentially. But can we go lower? I mean, at the moment, it's a tricky one here. Of course, if Dxy continues to rip higher here, then yes, certainly EURUSD might drift nicely to the downside here. We do have that lowest point of November here near the 1.1186, approximately around here. So that's the lowest point of November. Currently, we're stuck here near this 1.1235 zone. If we get a break of it, then yes, my next target is the lowest point of November. But if that gets cleared, well, guess what? The forthcoming lower low could be established, and then of course further declines could be possible. I can see you in chat room here, Evo. GBP/USD. Let me just. I think I still have a bit of time, not like Friday, because I've kind of overstepped my colleague's time. So I need to quickly. Let me quickly have a look at GBP/USD here. So now let's have a look, and GBP/USD. Well, a similar story like with EURUSD. Basically, we are. Let me do this. Let me refresh, remove all the drawings and start fresh. So here, what's interesting here, the reason why I'm kind of leaning towards the downside on this one as well. We're still kind of, let's say, not confirming a lower low, but we're close to that. We're kind of close to the current lowest point of December, which is around the 1.3161. If you can see, for example, if we take a look at the oscillators here, I mean, they started point started like rising, started moving higher. However, still, let's say your RSI is below 50 and the MACD is still below 0. So that means it's negative price momentum. So yeah, that's not really, doesn't mean that we know it's going to start moving higher here, because what could happen, the pair, for example, itself could drift lower. It could break this hurdle. It could go for a lower low. The oscillators would remain somewhere around here. Let's say they wouldn't go that much to the downside, and basically what we could have ourselves, that's correct, a positive divergence, which in the future could of course work out nicely for the bulls. But again, maybe this is me getting ahead of myself here, but again, we've seen these happening several times, so we could end up with a positive divergence later on. But again, at the moment, guys, let's go from what we have here. If you're looking for some upside on this one, then probably the easiest way is to keep an eye on the high of last week near the 1.3375, and then go from there. But at the moment, we're getting closer to the current lowest point of December. Let's see if we can stay above it. If we cannot, then well, further declines could be possible. So guys, I hope that helps. So yeah, guys, I'll have to wrap it up now, definitely, for sure. I need to leave some time as well. But thank you very much for joining in and watching this until the end. I really appreciate your views, your likes, your comments, guys. I really do. So thank you for that. If you want to join me tomorrow, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful trading day. Bye bye.